Just so you know, struggling just a little bit. This is a guitar I haven't played in a while, and I first took it out of the case, and I didn't really pay too much attention to the adjustment on the guitar. We're in the spring season, guys. So if you pick up a guitar that you haven't necessarily played in maybe 3 or 4 months, you might notice like this guitar in spring. Well, where I live, I guess it's dependent on your conditions. Where I live, my neck, I get less relief in the spring. And when fall comes and I turn my oil furnace on, the neck will go the opposite direction and the action of the guitar will get a little larger. This guitar, if you were a shredder right now, you would probably really like this guitar. I don't like super low action, and right now this guitar has what I call stupid low action. It's so low that I find myself struggling to really dig in on pulling the notes. But it is nice to do it's cool for doing stuff like that, but it's a little hard to dig in. And your upper harmonics, the E and the A. Kind of hard to get the A. It's probably, I could hand this to a shred guitar player and they would probably love it right now. I prefer a little bit higher action. But enough of that. And if you're new to the channel, this is one of my Kramer Barettas. I call it the banana. I have no idea why we call it a banana. But I liked this guitar so much, I bought my gray slate Kramer Baretta. And I actually prefer the gray one a little bit more. I did a little fretwork on the gray one. Not that the fretwork was bad on either one. I like a very flat top on my fret. Not flat, but I like a large radius top crown on my frets. So this one has the stock radius frets on it. What I did on the gray one, I decreased that radius a little bit. It makes the guitar play a little smoother. but you do lose a little bite, okay, on when there's a sweet spot, and you got to find that for your particular playing style. And what's funny is when you raise and lower your action, that changes that bite that you get as well. So on the Kramer, when I raise the action, I can still get the bite, but I get the smooth feel because the action's up a little bit, and I get my finger between the string and the fret, and I can really bend in. With this one, with the action so low on it, even though it's a larger radius fret, it's still hard to get that dig in. Something else, when your action's really low like that, it's hard to get your hammer-ons. You have less space to get these. That was a miss. It's hard to get all those tricks, guys, live and get it spot on every time. I think that's why a lot of people come to this channel. I don't, even when I do my reviews, some of the mistakes I just leave in there. If I'm switching between like the bridge and then the second position, third position, and I get all the way to the fifth position, I make a mistake, I'm like, this isn't a demo channel. This is more of a review and chat channel. So if you're wanting to watch someone shred on a guitar on YouTube, there's just phenomenal guys on YouTube that are just tearing the guitar up. So here I make mistakes, and I try to learn from every stream. Just like when we started doing the streams, my computer's making a like doo-doo noise. I think I have a cable going bad. I don't know if that's coming through with the OBS. It did it on my last recording, and I muted most of that out. It's like a dit or whatever that plug-in sound is that your Windows makes. It's been doing about every 2 or 3 minutes. So I think I got a bad cord. But I don't even know where I was going. My squirrel brain took me out in left field. So we're going to look at the chat and see, wow, I've missed a lot. It looks like Kurt was the first to join in and hit the chat. Then we had Jupe, then Devastator, and I'm going down the list, and they had a pretty good conversation going on. Jason came in the group, it looks like, next, then Jerry. We have Nicholas that came in the group. Hopefully you did hear me do some double picking there, Nicholas. And yes, Nicholas, I'm still using your pick that you sent. And this is the 1.5. So I've been playing the 1.5. I do like the 2. I've been going back and forth. It's just the 1.5 is sitting up here right now. So I have been doing that. I see we got Pentagores in the group. Who else we got? And if you're new to the group, like I see there's a Jimmy here and a couple other people. The chat, everyone here is really cool and open. Everyone has an opinion. That's what it's about. We get together, share opinions, and just chew the fat. Especially Thursday nights, we usually review something, but tonight I don't really have too much to review. But I know everyone looks forward to Thursday nights, so I figured I'd get on here and we would just chew the fat. Is that coming through, guys? There's that darn Windows noise again. And I don't know what it's coming from. It's starting to really drive me crazy.
Kurt said it's USB connecting and disconnecting.
Yes, it's a USB connecting and disconnecting. And I don't know what it could be. I'm going to unplug the camera that I never use. Maybe my other webcam is going bad. Yeah, Devastator says, yes, we hear it. And I have no idea. I'm also getting noise in my headphones, and it sounds like either my sliders or something has gotten dirty in the Mackie board. But I am definitely getting noise from the Mackie. So I don't know if that's coming through tonight either. Yeah, everyone's saying, yeah, it's the USB. That's the noise that my computer makes when I plug in a USB. Yeah, that's what it is. I unplugged the one camera, so maybe it'll disappear now. But how many people have noticed their necks moving in the last, let's say, month with the spring weather coming on? Because that's what I'm noticing. Like this guitar, I think I played it the last time on the channel was probably a couple months ago. And the action height and everything was good on the guitar. See, it is still doing it, guys. It must be something plugged into the back of the guitar. Or it could be the AG08, who knows. But this guitar, the action, the truss rod needs an adjustment. Springs come, so things are starting to move. I have some guitars I don't really have to adjust the necks on, but it seems like the Kramers that I have, they require a slight adjustment in the spring and the fall. My Peavey, Nitro, and my Vandenberg, they're very stable. Now they're very old, so that might have something to do with that, the seasoned wood. But my newer guitars, let's say 5 years or younger, they seem to always require a slight adjustment in the spring and in the fall. I do like these guitars. These are just rocking machines. They really are. The Beretta is just a rocking machine. Nothing sounds like a Beretta other than a Beretta. That's why I have two of them. Missed it. And you can hear I'm struggling with the harmonics because due to the action. And maybe it's a playing style, but I usually tell people when you slam the action, you're going to lose a little bit of harmonics, digging in to get the pinch harmonics. It just, for me, maybe it's just me, for me it seems to be harder to get the pinch harmonics with super low action. I really got to figure out what is plugging and unplugging on this computer every 10 seconds. And I have no idea what it is. It could be my Motul, my sync clock. I mean, it's on. The one light is flashing. I may have to unplug the Motul sync clock from my Akai and all my recording stuff. It might have something to do with that. I see it over there flashing. There's a red light flashing on it. So it may have lost connection and now it's trying to reconnect or something. I have a Motul XT. If you guys need a good sync clock, that one's a good one. Yeah, I see it over there flashing. It could be that. Let me take the ear burners off. So how many checked out the video last night? We did upload a new video last night. That was the Schecter In for Service #2. I did speed up the video in a lot of spots because when I was originally doing it, I had this, I sped it up, but I was doing like 450 and 500 times speed, and the video was like an hour and 15 minutes long, just doing the fret level. So I went back and I sped it up to 801,000x. That's why if you watch the video and I got the sanding tool in my hand, it just looks like I'm super guy going, I was watching it during the premiere and I'm like, man, if I could work that fast in real life, boy, wouldn't that be great? Hey, how long is it going to take you to do a fret level? Oh, I could do it in about 2 hours and crown it and everything. And just, I thought it was quite comical sitting there watching the premiere because I didn't really have the opportunity to watch it to make sure there wasn't any errors. I did skim through it quickly, but there was a lot going on in the house. And I'm like, okay, now I've done a premiere. I'm going to watch this thing in real time and not skip time. I said, I guarantee you there's a misfade or there's a spot where I didn't click on the audio right. But actually, that's the first video I have ever done the editing work on and got right, unless I missed an editing issue in the video. I didn't see any. That's the first time I have not had to go back and fix a fade or a turned off channel on one of the strips where I didn't have to reprocess the video. The first time ever. I usually have to do it at least twice because I'll forget to turn on one of the sublines in my video editor, or I miss a fade or something other, and I'll have to go back and fix it and then reprocess the video and then load it. So this is the first time I didn't have an issue. So knock on wood, maybe I'm getting better or I really got lucky, one of the two. But I did notice something. I had set the camera up. If you watch the video, a lot of that video was shot with me pretty much directly in front of the camera. That camera angle looked really good. And for whatever reason, I always set a camera up on the other side of the workbench, looking down the workbench. And I don't know if I set it down too low or I had the angle quite, but every time I went to that camera angle, I looked like an alien because my head was sticking out and I looked stretched. And I'm like, I got something set wrong, on the camera frame. Maybe it's stretched video to fit. And it kept saying it was right. And I'm like, why does this camera angle look so strange? So I haven't had the opportunity to go into the GoPro and see, maybe I have it on what's called fishbowl mode. And since I was so close to the camera, it kind of gave that fishbowl look to my head. But if you go back and look at it, the shot going across the table, my head can't be that wide, And I tried fixing it, and I'm like, everything I did to it, it just made it look stranger. So I'm like, there's something going on, but I'm just going to leave it. And then my next issue was my overhead camera. I have an old GoPro 8. This little guy. And this camera is horrible. 100% horrible. And I have one GoPro battery for it now. So I have these Amazon cheapy batteries, replacement batteries. And it was like 3 of them for like $40, and it come with a charger. it's not just, well, one, the battery life on these cheap batteries, it's not very good. About 20, 30 minutes, full charge to cuts the camera off. But you don't have to worry about that. People go, oh, that's not enough camera time. Don't worry about it. If you have a GoPro 8 and that thing will run more than 15 minutes without overheating, you've got a winner. Because this camera, after 15 minutes, will just beep, 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 and cut off. And it gets so hot you can't hardly touch it. Most of the batteries for this have swollen. It gets so hot the batteries turn into like little balloons. Back when this was new, I kept buying batteries. I paid 4 times more in batteries keeping this camera going than I did the initial camera price. This camera is just horrible on batteries. It's just horrible.
Evolutionary Energy Arts wants to know which Firefly do you play the most?
Which Firefly do I play the most? Right now, I sold the one I was playing the most to Jupe, so it's Jupe's fault. The one I played the most, if you go back and look, we did a FSST review. It was a white ash. It was a very Ibanez looking Strat guitar like this one, had the pointier horns. That guitar, out of the box, is probably one of the best Fireflies I've ever received. Well, I know it's the best Firefly I've ever received. I'm not saying it's the best, well, it is the best that I've received right out of the box. The tremolo, the nut cut, the fit and finish, the fretwork, that guitar was just awesome to play. It felt great, and it sounds good until you get it on a really stupid high gain. I would say that was my favorite one. Right now, I'm going to say it would be my FFMN that I modified. And that's really the guitar that I started the channel with. I bought the guitar, and it was horrible out of the box. If you go back and watch those videos, the guitar was not good out of the box. There was high and low frets. It just didn't play good. And there's some finishing issues on the guitar. Around the binding, there's some brown dots. There's some flaws in the top finish. But the guitar now plays great. I got like 550 in the parts and the guitar, but it's a great playing guitar. I would say it's that one. And I was playing my new one, this one. Let me get this one down. I was playing this one yesterday, and I actually like the way the guitar plays. The drawback to this one is the bridge. This one has that really, really, really super cheap Floyd Rose bridge that the Steve Brown sound and all the budget guitars have the Floyd Rose with the screen printed name on them. That's a really awful bridge. If you move it down like this, it doesn't return back. So it always feels and sounds like it's out of tune. Let me plug it in here and I'll show you. Let me get my Kramer out of the way here and move the cord. And what it is, it's a knife edge issue. The knife edge on the bridge isn't any good. Could you clean it up? You probably could. The drawback to cleaning up the knife edges on these cheaper bridges is the metal's cheap, so the knife edge doesn't hold. See? I mean, it does not return back right. If you push down, but as soon as you pull up, so the knife edge on this guitar isn't good. As long as you push down, I mean, it's got a great feeling neck on it. This one's probably one of the darkest roasted necks that I've received from Firefly, and it's a cool looking guitar. I think from what I've been playing around with, like the fine tuners on it, they feel fine. I'm sure the saddles aren't the greatest since it's Floyd Rose's cheapest bridge. But if you wanted to fix this guitar on a budget, I would just get a Floyd Rose 1000 base plate and 2 new posts. Pull the post, put the new posts on it, put the new base plate on it, transfer the parts over on it. It would be about, a $90 fix. Do not buy a Floyd Rose special. I know a lot of people are like, I get the whole tremolo for $140. The special suffers from the exact same problem as it's soft metal. So just go ahead and get the nicer bridge plate and the new posts. And then later on, you can always go back and replace your saddles and put higher grade saddles on it, like solid brass saddles or solid stainless steel saddles. You can put a larger block in the tremolo, to give it more sustain. But the base plate is the most important part of the Floyd Rose, and that's the weak link on these. I mean, it's got a good sound. Now this is a high gain channel. So I think from this generation, they've improved the pickups a little bit more. Like the 2 guitars I sent Jupe, both of them on high gain. They start to get muddy. This one is a little better. So it seems like Firefly's quality, as far as the electronics and their pickups, each year it seems like they step up their game a little bit. They used to be really bad, guys. They used to be microphonic and very muddy. But I would say with each generation, they do seem to be making improvements. I have seen some quality issues with their shorter tuners. Now this one has the standard height tuners. And I've heard comments that after about a year, these tuners start to cause problems. I've heard reports of that. Jerry in the comment section has said that he's had some fail after a year. And I've had other people leave comments and say, hey, after about a year and a half, I've got a bad tuner. And that's another thing. Sometimes you'll get one and all the tuners feel great, but there's usually one bad one. Or they all feel great. But sometimes you'll find that there's one bad one. And that's usually the one that is going to fail on you, whether they didn't put enough grease in it, whatever they're doing. This one here, I haven't played around too much with the tuners since it's a locking nut, but when I initially tuned it, they didn't feel bad. There's a little bit of slop in them, but this is their $300 guitar. And of course, their prices are going up just like everybody else's. So what you used to be able to get for, let's say, $130 with this type bridge, now is in the $300 range. It's got a good sound. Kurt. I just got the message, look at Kurt. Which Kurt? Kurt. Avery, I replaced the base plate on a special and had to replace the posts also. They were soft metal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The special is exactly like this bridge. There's no sense in putting us, if you have this bridge, there's really no sense in upgrading to a special. Just, if you're lacking the money, instead of putting the $130 and buying the special as an upgrade, just take your existing, this one's cheaper than the special. Pull the saddles, take the block off of it, use the stock tremolo arm, get yourself an FR1000 bridge plate and posts, and then transfer your components over on it. And as you get the money, you can get stainless steel saddles for it. You can change the tremolo arm. Even the original 84 and the Pro models, in my opinion, out of the box, they need a little tinkering. You're paying $320 and it's got a standard, let's say, 36 inch block. It's not super massive. It's not the L block. If you want the extra sustain, you're going to be upgrading the L block anyway. I always, on all my FR1000s that I play, I change the tremolo bar to the turbo. I think they feel better. So even if you get an FR1000 at the 299 mark or 289, you may end up still having to put a larger block on it and tremolo arm. It depends on how picky you are. I love playing around with a tremolo. So number one rule, when I bend up, it can't do that. You can tell I've been playing a shorter scale. I'm hitting on the flat there. So I need to warm up to the 25.5 scale length. But I think they have improved the sound of this guitar. So whatever pickup they have chosen to use in this guitar, I think at the $300 price point, this is a good pickup. There's nothing wrong with it. And another thing, you only have one pickup on this guitar, so they were able to put a little bit more money in this one pickup instead of two pickups. Now keep in mind, guys, $2 or $3 difference from the manufacturer. Oh, I just unplugged myself. $2 or $3 at the manufacturing level on a pickup makes a huge difference. We don't see it because you've got shipping costs and you've got distributing costs and you've got the place that buys it from the distributor and the shipping, then they house it and then they need to make money. So by the time it gets to us, that $2 or $3 upgrade ends up being 30 or 40 bucks at least. So on their end, instead of buying two, let's say $8 pickups, now they have $8 that they can just buy the one pickup. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But right now we got so many projects going on the channel. I would love to fix this guitar and play it more. But there's a side of me that says, well, if I'm going to fix it, I need to videotape it and put it on YouTube. So we do have two guitars coming up that we're building bridges for. One of them is a Firefly. It's the Berry Burst guitar. That guitar is going to Devastator. So once I get to Jupe's tremolo, I might set them side by side and build both bridges side by side together. And I could kind of show you, because Jupe's going, a little fancier, and we're doing something a little more basic on Devastator's bridge. So maybe I can show both tremolos torn apart and show the difference in the parts. You can build the Floyd Rose at this price point with these parts, still a good bridge, or you can take it to this level, get more sustain, more attack, better knife edge if you go to this price point. So that might be how I approach it. And this one will be down the road. But if you were fortunate enough to get this guitar, and I don't think they sold too many, they didn't have them on the site very long. $300 for a single pickup guitar with a tremolo. For Firefly, that's pricey. So I don't know if they sold out quick. Maybe this guitar will return back in stock. I will say that the neck, everything on the guitar looks sharp. I'm not seeing any funny glue joints like I've gotten Fireflies and it's got a funny glue joint going through the neck. It is one piece, and the neck does have a little flame going on. Just a little. I've seen nicer Firefly flame necks. I've seen photos where the flame is literally predominant all the way up the neck. This one just seems to be right here. But it's still flame. You can see there's a little bit right here as well. But at this price point, how can you complain? You've got a flame maple neck. It really, for $299, just the neck and the body on the guitar is worth that. If you went to Guitar Fetish, I guarantee you this body and a similar neck is going to cost you $300. At least with this, you are getting a pickup, you're getting a lock nut, some tuners. You can play it until you have the money to modify it. I love modifying guitars. I'm going to take those off. Those things really burn my ears up. So I don't know what you guys think. That's how this channel started, taking budget guitars and modifying them. But I want to reference that there are other guitars out there that I've pointed out, like my Squier I have on the wall. That guitar was $329. I wouldn't change anything on the Squier. The one pickup's a little microphonic on it, but I think that gives it the sound that it has. So I wouldn't change anything on that guitar. I think we're in the sweet spot as far as guitar prices. Whether you buy an $850 Beretta. I mean, when I wanted a Beretta in the late 80s, this guitar was $1,500–$1,600. So 30 years later, it's $600 cheaper than it was when I wanted one. So if you would have told me in 30 years I could have got a Beretta for $850, I would have said, nah. Those suckers will be $3,000 by the time, I'm this age. But they're not. Sorry, guys. Been around. A lot of lacquer spraying this week. That Ibanez, $450. Plays great. One Sweetwater, $450. That's the regular price. It's a great playing guitar. I don't think it needs anything. The tuners, the bridge, the pickups. I keep saying I'm going to put pickups in it, but every time I actually listen to the guitar, I'm like, no, these pickups are fine. Just leave it be. That's just me wanting to tinker. When I like something, I have a tendency to go, okay, let's make it better. And I need to stop that. If you're bonding with it, don't change it. You might put new pickups in it and then go, oh, now I don't like it. It's doing what it does and it does it well. So I'm just going to leave the guitar. And it's not even, it's Linnell's guitar. So, She may not. She would probably let me do it anyway. But I was thinking about pickups for it. But every time I go back and listen to the stream and I'm playing that guitar, it sounds awesome. It's mean sounding. So there's no sense in me putting pickups in it. The guitar behind it, the P90, we did a review on that. I think last Thursday. That was our review for last Thursday. The pickups are P90s. They sound fine. That was Firefly's last guitar that had conventional frets on it. Now everything they make has the ball end frets.
Honey Tap's on.
Ooh, Honey Tap. Hey, Honey Tap, how are you, buddy? That was one of the last ones. I kind of wish Firefly would go back and make some of their guitars with conventional frets. It's not that I dislike ball end frets. I think there's a place for both. The only issue I have with the ball end fret is if these frets aren't perfectly seated down through here and the string set isn't quite right, the string can get hung up under the frets. And that's happened not just with Firefly. Leo James is really bad for that. If you go back and watch my MK2 Leo James review, it happens at least twice during the demonstration of that guitar where the string gets hung up underneath the fret. Uh-oh, I hear Linnell laughing, so
Look what Devastator said.
we can have a review of Linnell's yoga gear. Yeah, she's been exercising, guys. You can see, if you go back and watch the very first stream, you can see that some things have been added. She doesn't even do that stuff when I'm home. She waits till I go to work and then does it. So, I would just sit here and look at certain parts when she was doing it. So I guess she doesn't want an audience. But when she's in the kitchen and I'm watching her stir gravy, she's got, you know what you're looking at. So she's used to it on my end. I used my JB. I saw pictures of that guitar. Juke sent me some links to his channel. And now I know why he keeps talking about that JB200. That is a beautiful, beautiful guitar. The flame maple top on that thing is awesome. Wiggle to giggle, that's it, Niles. She's got it down. She knows what she's doing, trust me. When I come home from work and I sit down in the kitchen, she's in there stirring. She knows what she's doing. Believe me. We've been together this long. She knows exactly what she's doing. But I can't say anything. I used to do it on purpose when I was cooking to see if she'd notice. Now you guys made me completely lose track of what I was talking about.
You were talking about Jupe's JB.
Oh yeah, back to Jupe's beautiful guitar. He sent me a link, and he said it was going viral. Jupe's mother playing drums at Guitar Center. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to go check out the video. It had gotten up to, I think, 700 or 800 views in like 6 hours or 7 hours. And that was the other day. So I don't know if it kept going crazy or not, but it was getting a lot of views. But while we were there checking that out, I checked out the video of him getting his JB200 and opening it up in the case. And it's got a blue finish with the flame maple top. And it's a Kiesel, but I guess when he had it made, he wanted the Carvin name on it, so it still reads the original factory name, Carvin, on it. It is a sharp guitar. Yeah, Jupe says it's up to 1,400 views now. That's too funny. That's too funny. If that guitar sounds half as good as it looks, Jupe, it's a winner. Oh, I'm sure it does. Those guitars were phenomenal guitars. Phenomenal guitars. And, Sweetwater called me. I was on a list for a guitar that I wanted. It was a Jackson neck through. EX27 or an SL27EX. It was a 27 fret guitar. set up with the pickup configuration that I like. One pickup and then a single coil center. Not here, right dead center. 27 fret. Well, guess what? I missed the boat. Jackson said, we're not making it anymore. I guess it didn't sell enough. So it was on back order, and they kept saying that they were going to get more in. They were going to get more in. Sweetwater never received them. So I guess I had that thing on my list for notification to pick up.
August last year.
Yeah, was it August of 22?
Last year.
Oh, August of last year is when I put in my order to be notified when it come in to charge my account. And Sweetwater called me. It had been so long I forgot. I was like, well, why is Sweetwater calling me? So I called them back and they said, oh, we were notifying you about the Jackson. And I'm like, oh, did you get them? He goes, no, we're never getting them. They're canceling all the orders. They're not going to be making any more. We're not going to receive any more. And I'm like, ugh. So I still want a guitar like that. So I went ahead and did a pre-order. Now I'm not what do you call locked in. I can cancel it. I did a pre-order on a PV Vandenberg, a new one, which I have already pretty much decided to cancel. I can't pay that kind of money for a Czech Republic PV. I can't. If it was made in the United States, I could do it. But the guitar is made in the Czech Republic. I can't. It's $2,800. I can't do it. So, and they don't have them. So I'm going to call Sweetwater and just cancel that. Now I've shifted, and it's not a neck through, but Ibanez makes it's an RGA 27 fret, exact same pickup configuration, a humbucker and a single in the center. And I think it's $2,800 too. And then it's funny that Jupe brings up the Carvin. I'm pretty sure that I can spec a Carvin for about that amount of money, $2,800, and get a nice Carvin or Kiesel. So I don't know. I'm going to call Sweetwater and cancel the PV. I already have a Vandenberg, and it's an original one. So I think if I purchase a high-end guitar like that, a rocking guitar, it needs to check every box on my list. And right now, no one can actually do that, because to check every box on my list, it would have to have a Kahler Spider tremolo. I'm a Kahler person, and it doesn't. I did ask Kiesel about that, and Kiesel will not build a guitar with a Kahler tremolo. And it's I don't think they have anything against Kahler. It comes down to writing the programs to route the body. The route is different for the Kahler versus the Floyd Rose. The drill locations for the bore to set the inserts is a different location. And I don't think they get enough calls for people wanting a Kahler, Spider, or the other bridge they make to justify the hours of research and development. And then you got to build one. You got to prototype it, make sure that your routing is correct and that you can intonate the guitar properly. They probably just say, well, no, we don't get asked enough for us to take the time and offer this as a product, because it's not just one or two guitars. If you're going to add a tremolo to your arsenal and your pick out list, you got to go through every guitar that you offer a tremolo system to and write a program for that bridge to work in that guitar. So I'm sure if they had a dedicated CNC or Mastercam guy, it's probably a good 2 months of work. And you're like, it wouldn't take that long. Yeah, it would. By the time you pulled your DWG file up, you modified your drawing, sent it to Mastercam, then you're not done. You still got to send it out on the floor and make a prototype. So now you got cost and labor at the plant making the prototypes, making sure it's right. So I can see why they said that. But my dream guitar would be that way. I called them because I had located a Kahler Killer 2700, and I wanted them to build me a guitar with the Kahler Killer 2700. And they said nope. We'll not install any new or old stock. If it's Kahler, we don't have the programs for it. Can't do anything with it. Jupe said paid $1,900 plus tax for it back in 2021. It's up to $2,399 now. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And the quality there for a custom made. Oh my gosh! Thanks, Niles. Here we go. The quality there is crazy. You got to think that's a USA made guitar. Let's look at other USA made guitars. Gibson, Fender. That's half the price. It's half the price. And it's a handmade, USA made product. It has to be the best bang for your buck, handcrafted, USA made guitar that you can buy. Period. Even if you went to the stupid level of Kiesel, when they get into their special book match tops, they charge $400 or $500 extra for their what they call master class tops. At Gibson, that guitar costs you 10 grand. And you can do a master class top on a Kiesel and just deck that thing out. You're not going to be at 10 grand. You might be at 7 grand. And then if you have Jeff Kiesel himself build it, it might be a little more. But, it's not going to be Gibson prices. It's not going to be Fender custom shop prices. That's why I was going to call Sweetwater and just cancel the Vandenberg. It's a guitar I've always wanted, a pink Vandenberg. But at $2,800, I can get a mint 1987 with a Kahler Killer on it for that price. I probably wouldn't be able to get one tomorrow, but I guarantee if I said I'm spending $2,400 on a vintage Vandenberg, if I hunted, I'm sure I could find me a mint one somewhere for $2,400 to $2,600, which would be cheaper than the new one, and that's the one that is awesome. Made in the USA. They were great guitars. I know they're great guitars. I have one. So I would just do that. And I'm sure there's people now throwing popcorn at their TV. Why would you buy a guitar like that and then play it and scratch it up? Well, it's one of those things, I want to play it. I play the Vandenberg I have is all beat up. I want to play it. That's the point on it. Play the guitar. I don't need more wall candy, if that makes sense. Well, I don't think I have any guitars that I would consider wall candy. They all get played, but it would get played. But I'm canceling it. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, nope, not doing it. I gotta stick to my guns. That's what the Niles did here for the guitar fund. We're saving money up for the next guitar for the channel. So that doesn't mean we won't review another guitar, because I'm always selling my personal guitars like this one. This is one of my personal guitars. And I always rotate stock. And we got a Yamaha Revstar that I bought for myself. We're going to do a review on. And I want to do a proper review on that and actually sit down and do a proper review. I don't think the Yamaha Revstar gets the attention that guitar needs. That is a freaking phenomenal guitar for $550. It doesn't need anything. The tuners are good. The pickups are good. It plays great. It does have a little bit of fret sprout, mine. Just like the Fender Standard that we reviewed. A little bit of fret sprout. I can feel the end of the frets. But at $550, that's a lot of guitar for $550. It sounds mean. It plays mean. So we're going to do a good review on that guitar. And then we'll still do the live reviews. I just didn't have enough time this week with work to get things set up to do a live review tonight.
Birdman said he sent you an email on the 11th. He said he just sent another one in case the first one got lost.
Oh, no, it's probably not that, Birdman. It's just me checking the email. I get so swamped sometimes at work by the time I get home, get settled, and I know that I want to produce videos like Jupe's video that we released last night. For me to do my job and then come home and edit videos, it leaves very little time for me to go through all my emails, check everything. It may have just gotten slipped or I haven't checked it. I think it's been at least a couple days since I checked my email. So if you guys have emailed me, if it takes me a week and a half to get back to you, that's probably pretty normal unless we've already been talking about something and it's an ongoing discussion, if that makes sense.
Tap said, which Yamaha Repstar did you get?
I got the cheap one. Let me go get it. So here's the Yamaha Revstar.
Jerry said it's loud without plugging it in.
Exactly. This guitar has a lot of resonance to it. This is a great guitar. And this is not a guitar that I would go into a music store and I would be necessarily, pulled to play it. It's not something that I would go, ooh, I gotta play that. That guitar looks awesome.
Tap said the cheap one is the Element RSE 20.
This is the cheapie. Phenomenal guitar. When I say phenomenal, this thing, it sounds good, it plays nice. It's just a great guitar. I've played it a couple times on the channel. And it's $550. Sweetwater had it on sale for about 3 weeks at $479. So if you guys are on the fence on this Revstar, and it's got the it's like a what they call the push pull on this one? It was some kind of pickup boost enhancer. It's not a coil split. It enhances. I think it's supposed to enhance an overwound pickup circuitry in it. It's freaking mean. So if even at $550, it's a good deal. But if you find this on sale again at $479, don't even worry about it. It is 100% worth the asking price.
Jude wants to know why you have the light thing in the back of you. Still see the stream well. He's just wondering.
The light?
The light you have on behind you.
Yeah, what ends up happening, it gets pretty dark in here. Now, normally I don't have it turned on that high. I was shooting my ending video for your video yesterday, so I have it cranked up to like 100%. Normally when I do the live streams, they're both on. So this one isn't even on. So I normally turn them down to 35% just to give a little background light. And I was rushing tonight, so I just set that one up and left it at 100%. Let's see the back. It's an awesome guitar. Let me, everybody knows I'm all about gain. Some people are all about the bass. I'm all about gain. That was funny. I don't care who you are. it's mean sounding. When I pull this coil, you can hear it gets on. In the down position, it's real beefy. It gets a little brighter and thinner when you pull it up. Down position. The pickups are really good in this guitar. And I haven't played it in a couple weeks, so I just pulled this thing out of the bag and it's in tune. I like it.
How many times is the hardware gold, or does it just look like it?
No, it's silver hardware on this. It's all silver. I know. Now that you say it looks gold, it does look gold for some strange reason. But it's all chrome hardware. Believe it or not, guys, I'm not a big chrome guy. I know my Epiphone Alex license has chrome hardware on it. Or, I mean, gold. I'm just not a gold. I don't know. No matter how they electroplate it, it always seems to rub. If you're playing the guitar, eventually you rub through that finish, and it just looks kind of strange. So I prefer the chrome, or what they call the blackened chrome. It looks like it got hot. It's got like the blue in it with the chrome. I kind of like that as well. Let's do the articulation test just to see how the pickups react. The reason I like doing that little test, you've got this pull up. Muddy pickups, that just gets lost. You don't hear it. Another thing, when you mute, you can get some harmonics down here. You can get. I found that little riff will show you a bad pickup instantly. So it's a pretty simple riff, guys. The only thing with the riff is getting the pull off from the chords. I'm pulling off on the chords to get those open notes without striking, like. That's what makes the lick sound good. And just practice pulling off. It's a good sounding instrument. So if anyone's on the fence on it, and you can get over the very large butt that the guitar has, it is quite the distance here. This has to be the largest back end on any guitar that I own, and it is butt heavy. If you're grabbing the guitar right here, it is definitely heavier on this side. But with the strap, it's fine. It balances perfect. It doesn't neck dive. It doesn't butt dive. But grabbing the guitar right here, it's definitely on the butt heavy side. The balancing point would be right in here on the guitar. But if you can get one and you're on the fence with it,
Jerry's gotta go.
oh, which one? Oh, Jerry. Okay, Jerry. I'm happy that you came into the group, man. It's always nice to see people returning to the chat, and Jerry's definitely a regular. So have a good evening, Jerry. Thank you for coming in. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave some kind of comment down below. All right. Hey, we got ST in the group.
Got cold hat too.
Oh, cool. Hey, if you're new to the chat, this is just a Thursday night hangout. You know, a bunch of guitar guys talking gear. That's what we do. And everyone here has an opinion, and we share stories. And in the chat, I'm sure there's 5 or 6 different stories going on, and I have not kept up with, but that's fine. That's what the chat's for. If you're here to watch my ugly mug and chat and chat and chat, that's fine too. But there's always a completely different conversation on the screen, I guess when you're looking on the right-hand side. If you don't see the chat screen, go down and just hit the chat window. There should be a little button down below where it says more. So just hit that and the chat window will come up so you can engage with everybody that's in the show. Now I see we got a bunch of new people actually tonight that I could see. We do have Time Surfing Alien, and I like people that have been around for a while. Time Surfing Alien has been around for a while. I like to see people. He's not here every week, and that's cool. I get it. There's thousands of different videos on YouTube, but it's nice when I see people come in. They're here for a little bit and then they move on, but they come back, and that's cool. That's what I like. And he's got a clap fetish or something. Just so if you don't know, he's got a clap fetish. He's wanting Devastator or something. I don't know what's going on.
You haven't given any of them the clap in a while.
Yeah, I haven't given anybody the clap in a while. Oh, isn't that awful? Well, guys, if you know the channel, we're going to take a quick break. And I wanted to do it right at the 1 hour mark, but we always take a slight intermission. It's not going to be a super long stream tonight, but I am going to take a 5-minute break to use the restroom and get something to drink. So this is your time. Go hit the restroom and come back. And I'm going to go back and look at the chat and see if there was anything that we can touch on the new conversation. All right, guys. Let me see. I got to figure out which button to hit. And that's not the right button. So I am still learning. 5-minute intermission. Okay, guys. I was looking back at the chat, and let me get the chat window. ST asked if I could play a tune. If I do play things that are recognizable, you'll notice I usually don't stick with it very long. I get away with a lot on this channel, and the reason I get away with what I do get away with, it's a small channel. But YouTube can come back 2, 3, 4 years later. I've talked to other channels, and they get copyright strikes on things that they did years ago. Once the channel gets more popular, YouTube looks at your channel a little bit more so than they're looking at this channel now. I could probably get away with more than I get away with. I'm just trying to keep myself from, not doing things that I know may cause issues in the future. But I do play bits and pieces of certain songs, but I try to rewrite it. And I'm sure if I typed in that song in YouTube, I've probably heard it. Believe it or not, the tune that I'm using, guys, I'm using Linnell's little Yamaha desktop amp. And I am coming out of the headphone jack directly into the interface. It's simple. It's two effects. I'm using a little chorus and a little bit of reverb and distortion. It's really a simple setup. And if anyone knows my rack, I use quite a bit of. I was getting ready to say the S word, but we're going to keep it family oriented. I use a lot of stuff in my rack. I have a gate, a limiter, compressor, distortion, then a line tube amp, then I've got the main tube amp and the ART, and then sometimes I'll run the Sedano or the Friedman in front of it. And of course, I'm still running chorus. I've got delay, sometimes a reverb too. So there's a lot of stuff in that signal path. My point is, this little amplifier sounds, for as simple as it is, dialing in a quick sound, this little guy does phenomenal. So during a live stream, for me, instead of setting up the microphones and stuff, I have found that this little guy works great. I probably will have to buy one because the way it's set up, I don't think Linnell wants to mess with it too much and unplug it and mess it up. So I think it's been interfering with her practice. So I'll probably end up picking one up just for doing the live streams. It has impressed me that much. And believe it or not, it sounds better when you unplug it and set it next to the wall with the factory speakers. It has such great imaging that goes on with the amplifier. It's almost like it pushes part of that sound out the back of the amp and it reflects off the wall. The imaging is just crazy good with this little Yamaha. So if you're on the fence on that one, it's the one that's like $330, the THX model desktop amp. Great little amplifier. Here I can turn the little amplifier right there above my rack. The little gold amp. This little guy right here. Great amplifier. It's 20 watts too. So you get quite a bit of, it's quite loud in the room. I don't know if you could gig with it without coming out of the headphone jack, but it's quite loud. You could very easily do what I'm doing right here. If the place has a PA, plug into the headphone jack and just send that front of house. Now, the speakers on the amp do not work once you plug in the headphone jack. So you will have to ask the sound guy to put your sound signal in the monitor in front of you.
Tom Surfing Alien said what amp did you say it was?
Let me look at the actual amplifier and I'll get you an actual model number. Let me see, I'll go back to this one. Let's check it out. This one is it's a THR 10-2. It says 10 and then 2, so I think it's the Mach 2 version. THR 10 Mach 2. Great amplifier. And we were wanting something really simple, and it is simple. It's got a couple different knobs. Actually, let me unplug this camera. It's got enough juice. Let me adjust it. If I can. That's the issue with doing instant lives. Let me bring this camera. It is wireless. So I'm going to bring it up just a little bit more here. Let me switch that camera angle and I'll show you the top of the amplifier. Let's try to get it a little closer. So right here is your amp selection. You've got clean, crunch, lead, high gain, and special. Okay? And you actually have a tuner mode. And then this is for flat, acoustic, and bass. And you have some memory options. You can pre-program your settings. But this is what's nice. If you look right here where it says chorus, notice how the one side of the chorus is a little thicker and the line here is thin. So if I want more chorus, all I do is turn it to the thick side. Less chorus would be here. Okay, so you get to pick chorus, flanger, phaser, or tremolo. And here's your echo and reverb. So right now I'm on echo reverb, and I've got quite a bit. Because you could just use echo, or you could do a spring reverb, or a hall reverb. There's no programming. You just literally, you want less, you just turn it down to here. Turn it up to here, you get more. Dial in this setting here. Here's your gain. Here's your master. Here's your EQ. And this is your final output. Now this audio, for this one, if you want to plug in, it's Bluetooth. So let's say you want to play along with something. This would be the Bluetooth input, the volume of your Bluetooth input, and then this is your guitar volume on the output stage. It's a great little amp. It's got two little speakers right here, got the little light. I mean, and really, you got auxiliary, that would be your input, phones, input. That's all it is to it. And then right here you got your USB cable. You can upload, I think, different IRs to it. And you can get in and do more adjusting on some of these effects. I like it just because you got a knob. I don't have to plug it into the computer. I can take this amp somewhere, set it on the table, plug it in, make a couple quick adjustments, and play. I had the Katana for a while, and I liked the Katana. The Katana was a great amp. The drawback I had with the Katana was you couldn't get to all the settings on the Katana, like the reverb and the delays. They were all buried in the amplifier, and unless you plugged it into the computer, you were kind of limited. With this one, it's set up to where the controls are accessible right at the top. I can dial in how much I want right there. I don't have to, Bluetooth it to my phone to make adjustments or plug it into the computer. I can, but I can do it right from the top of the amplifier. And I like that. Now, of course, you can do more if you plug it into the computer, but just for what I need for a quick sound, I can do it right from the top of the amp. And you can do more, like I said, if you plug it into a computer. But it's a great little amplifier. If I had to set the Katana 50 and this one side by side, I would get this amplifier. The Katana is also mono. With this, your effects are stereo. That's what's giving you that imaging. So you got to keep that in mind as well. So it's not a mono signal. So if you're playing out somewhere and the house system is stereo, when you feed to it, you're going to have stereo imaging wherever you play.
My Tuck said he got a Stream Deck.
Yeah, Stream Deck. I've got one too. I just don't have it programmed. Where's my Stream Deck? Here's my Stream Deck. Just don't have it programmed. Oh, if I can get it to come up here. That might be what's been bloop blooping. Little Stream Deck. My camera won't. It's plugged in. So I need to program it. Like right now, if I'll go back to this screen, I moved it before the camera was back here. I have to go into OBS and manually click buttons with the mouse. With the Stream Deck, I'll be able to go over here and just push a button and you guys wouldn't see it. There's also foot controllers that you can control your stream with. But the Stream Deck was the cheapest way of going to have more control. You can do fades. Well, you can program it to do any button that's on the computer that you need access to do certain things. You can program it to a button and the Stream Deck works. It's cool. I just haven't gotten to it. I did make a promise that the stream would get better and better and better. And I think the audio quality has gotten good. The picture's decent for what the stuff that I'm using. So it may be time for me to start messing around with the Stream Deck and bring the stream, maybe a little bit more professional as far as switching. I do have a fade. So when I switch cameras, it's not a harsh switch. There's a slight fade. And it takes time. And there's my moderators have helped me out a lot. We get on Skype. It's been a while since we've done it because everything seems to be working. But there was many nights where Devastator and Jerry, we got together and just went hashed over things and worked out things. And Devastator especially, there was 2 days that we just literally did test streams and just worked out the bugs in the system. But hopefully it's gotten better. That's what it's about. This isn't a 100,000 subscriber channel, but I also want it to not look like some guy sitting in his basement with his phone. I do want a little bit of, professional. And I know my 2 lights aren't enough. I need something in front, a diffuser, to light me up properly. But there's a certain quality to doing it this way. It's not overly produced. I don't know. I've had people say sometimes they spend too much time producing and editing and it's too polished and people don't like it. So maybe the raw feel that this stream has, people like. It seems to be growing traction. My only fear is, guys, I'm one person. So I worry about the conversation, in the direction that we go, or me keeping the conversation moving, especially my playing. I'm not, I tried to make it. Everyone did. When we were younger, the group, it wasn't just a group of people. It was my playing, it was the lead guitar, because I was not the lead guitar player. The drummer, the bass player, the vocalist, everyone works together, writes. We just didn't hit it, if that makes sense. So I went into a professional career, and music did not turn out to be my livelihood. I did make money for a couple years playing professionally, but I had to make a decision. Do I want to live in my van and make, $1,500 a week after paying the bar tab and everything? Or do I want to buy a home, have a family, and have a career and have a stable income? Because there was times where you might do really good this week, but next week it was horrible. The place you played didn't pay too well, or you played there and you blew a horn, or there was many nights. We got a flat rate of $500 or $600 to play that night. Then you got $10 a head. Now that was good money back then. If they were charging 25 a head and you got 10 of it plus a flat rate, and 200 or 300 people show up, that was a good night. The average night for places I was playing was probably 100, 150. But if you had a good night, let's say 250 people showed up, well, at $10 a head,
Niles, how's
that,
it go?
oh, all right, Niles. Thank you for joining into the stream, guy. Like I said, like I told everybody, when I see familiar faces, it makes me feel good. But thanks for coming, Niles, and I'll see you hopefully on Saturday. But if you got your head count, every bar was a little different. Some places only paid, the bigger the place, the more people that come, the lower percentage you got on the head dollar amount. But let's say you made $2,000 a night, the band. At the end of the night, there were nights where the band owed the bar money. That's not good. You know, we would owe the bar $500, and we had $2,500, $2,000 bar tab. Young and dumb. You know, I know. Don't take this the wrong way, honey. Skirt chasing, that's what you did back then. You skirt chased and you drank and you. I'm not proud of it. I'm just saying that I had to make a decision, and it was just not working for me in the lifestyle I wanted. So I picked a professional career, and I never really stopped playing for, I guess, 10 years after that. Then I did get to the point where I didn't play that often. I picked the guitar up maybe 2 or 3 times a year, maybe 4, play it that day and go, wow, I really miss playing. But life with kids and stuff, it got hard. So I didn't continue. And then eventually Linnell just said, you know, you need to start playing again. So I picked it back up, and I love music, guys. I love playing music. I like going to listen to bands. There's nothing like going to listen to a good band play. There's just something about the live atmosphere listening to that band. And I'm not talking necessarily big concerts. Just going and listening to your local band, a good local band, in a small venue. Let's say under 100, 150 people. It's more personable. It's usually a better sound quality, and it's usually not so loud where you can still have a somewhat conversation with the person you came with. You get into larger venues, it gets pretty loud pretty quick. Bring your own bassist. Yeah, Honeytown. There was many times the bass player was kind of like a no-show. Bass players were always kind of rough. We went through bass players quite a bit. We eventually got to the point where we got the singer, because the singer played bass. He just struggled playing bass and singing at the same time. So over a period of a year and a half, he got the swing of it, and we simplified the roots when we were playing out. And that saved the band money, because that was one less person to pay. Was it as good? No. Coming from a musician's point of view, it wasn't as good. Coming from the people in the bar, I would say 80% of them probably couldn't tell the difference, if that makes sense. And I say that a lot with guitar tone and the equipment you're running. I mean, guitar players and people that really listen to music, they may be able to pick up, that you've got a better amp. But in today's world, a little amplifier like we were just talking about, go in front of house, and if it's capable, no one is going to suspect you playing a digital modeling amp. It is so close to a tube amp, and your back's going to love you for it, especially playing small venues. And if you're playing a really small venue, you've got to have some kind of PA for your vocalist. So just hope that your PA system that you're bringing, you can plug that directly into it. It's still far easier than carrying a big amp in. And if you're doing it, the sound, you have more control over the overall sound anyway. The only issue you run into then playing small venues is if your drummer is playing acoustic drums, then you got to figure out how to mute the drums to get the drum volume down. And if you could talk the drummer into muting and putting triggers on the drums, that can help you. But again, that's only if you've got some nice PA drivers that you can set up and work in that fashion. If not, you're doing it the old school way with amplifiers and trying to mix your stage volume and get it right, and then push that stage volume out to where it sounds right to people in the audience. And that gets tough when your PA system is just covering your backup vocals, your vocals, and that's about it. And you're running your guitar amps and your bass amps and the acoustic version on the drums. That's really hard to get a good sound on. It is. Loud drummers, that's exactly right. It's not just drummers. A lot of bass players I played with, man, they'd vibrate the beer bottles off the tables on the other side of the bar. And the tables would shake, and you could see the glasses just vibrate across the tables. Bass players were bad for that. Lead guitar players. Yeah, because like I said, I was always a rhythm player. First thing the lead guitar player does, turn up louder than the rhythm player. Wash the rhythm player out. Bad for that. But that's just part of being in a band, I guess. Maybe it's different now. It's been a long time since I did it. But it used to be the battle. And then I shouldn't say that. When I was playing larger places, those guys were more professional. When we were playing dives, when I say dives, we're going to say hole in the walls that paid maybe $500 or $600 for 2 nights, and there might be 50, 60 people there, and it was a rough crowd. Played many places like that. Places like that, when I was playing out, we were a starting band. Getting your feet wet, learning. People go, "You didn't make much money." We didn't deserve any more money than that. We really didn't. We half learned the songs. We half played the songs. The lead guitar player would go off on a 10-minute lead, and then we were looking at one another. Okay, when's he coming out of the lead? If you've played guitar and you've been in bands, whether you're a drummer or a bass player, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody has been in a band like that. You just hope at some point you mature and get better, and you start picking better people with the same mindset that you can go out and play. But I see a lot of musicians now, they buy sequencers, keyboards, and they go in and it's just a one-man band. They've got pre-recorded drums, pre-recorded backing tracks. They go in and sing, play the guitar. That's pretty popular now. And it could be just because of all the reasons that I just listed. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Bass player will shake the fillings out of your teeth. Yeah, we had a bass player. He had a Peavey rack mount head, and had 2 big enclosures. I think it was a 4 8-inch titanium cone Harkeys. Then he had another 4. Well, actually, no, he had 3 cabinets. He had the 8-inch, a 10-inch 4, and then he had this massive, I think it was a 15 or an 18 underneath that. And this just monstrous rack mount Peavey head unit that he played through. And that thing was just stupid loud. When I say stupid loud, it was stupid loud. I've always played a 50 watt head. Well, I shouldn't say. I had a Peavey Butcher head that was 120 watts. But when I played out live, it was always 50 watts. My 50 watt amplifier could not. If the bass player wanted to, he'd just go over and turn up, and it was done. You were not getting over the bass player. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it seems like everybody's got the stories on that. I'm sure we can all get lost on on some of those stories. I can name some pretty wild ones that happened in my days of playing out. Beta bass. Yeah, I mean, I really want to start doing more recording again, guys. I've got an Akai here that I replaced my Korg M1 with. I have the equipment. It's just time. I, I don't like using pre-recorded stuff. I don't like stitching stuff together. And I get it. These new DAWs, you can stitch, cut, paste. You can do a lot of different things. But I want to write it out. I want to take the measure and write out the bass drum, write out where the snare is going, and actually figure it out and write it. That takes a lot of time. And I'm sure there's pre-recorded stuff with autofills, just like auto bass. At that point, I don't know if you're actually writing music at that point, because you're actually taking just pre-recorded stuff and shuffling it around, and you're just playing. You're trying to find something that'll fit what you've already wrote. At some point, you have to go, okay, I need a bass line. The chord structure that I've written for guitar does this. What's the bass line going to be? Now, if you do a keyboard and you do the one note wonder through the keys to write your bass line, that's fine. It's a bass line. Once you write your opening piece, your harmony, if you got a bridge, your verse, your chorus, you've got all those sections done, then sure, you write your bridge, you do it, then you stitch it together. But you have placed the noting. You have wrote the noting. It's structured to what you're playing. That's how I used to write. And I just don't have really the time to sit down and write stuff out like that anymore. I would like to. There's a couple songs that are in my head that I know would be good material to actually write down and do some work with. It just comes down to time. I gotta pick my poison, as they call it. So we got the YouTube channel, we do reviews, we do the lives. So my extra time kind of goes to that. And that's fine. I still get the opportunity to play the guitar, and I get to do my favorite thing, which is just sit here and talk about music and guitar. And then anyone that does the recording, I get to live precariously through you guys. That if I'm sure there's people here that are still playing out. I don't. So I like hearing the stories. I always go back, you can actually know, I always go back and watch the stream and pay attention to the chat, because there's no way I can pay attention to the chat and keep talking, if that makes sense. I need to keep moving. I've went back and watched the chat. Sometimes when I start reading the chat, on my side, I feel like the stream is just kind of slowed, because now I've taken the time and I'm going back and I'm reading, and it's just dead space. It always seems like it works better if I keep talking and I work through it. But when I do that, sometimes I'll lose a great conversation that's going on between people that are participating in the chat. So it's a hit and miss thing, guys. It really is. All right, guys. I don't mean to cut it short tonight, but we're gonna do the 5-minute ending tonight, and our main stream will be Saturday night. I think hour and 45 minutes is good. It's good. And I know when to quit, because my throat starts getting sore. I do a lot of talking, and it takes a toll on me, guys. It really does. So we're gonna do the 5-minute chat thing. And I gotta make sure that I actually hit the right little button here, because I got that's why the Stream Deck would be working for me, because then I wouldn't be so dependent on OBS. And OBS only gives you a little tab this big, and you can only write so much in there. So you had to abbreviate things to get it to work. But I want to thank everyone that came into the chat. If you're coming in later, we do this on Thursdays and Saturdays. And we try to always do a video at least once a week. Right now we're working on Jeep's guitar. We're at video 2, and I am working on video 3, which is fret leveling. Be sometime later next week. It takes a little bit more than 7 days for me to do each video. So this one was on Wednesday. I would probably say it'll be Friday or a weekend, maybe a Saturday morning premiere on that video. We'll see how it goes. But I want to thank everyone for coming in. It's you guys that make the stream work, that come each week. And I want to thank everyone that is subscribed, that's new to the channel. Our subscription has really shot up for this little channel. It's shot up a lot in the last 30 days. So we've picked up over 50 subs in the last 35 days. So that's pretty good for this channel. So I want to thank those people if they're here watching or watching at a later date that have subbed. Hopefully I've earned that subscription. The button's down there if you guys want to hit it, and hit the like button and leave a comment. All right, guys, we're going to go to the 5-minute ending screen. Thanks so much. Like I said, I couldn't do it without you guys.